welcome again to check it out. If you look through my channel listing, you will see that I've made quite a number of videos now on budget action cams, replacements for GoPros, but at a much lower price, and I've concentrated really on the lowest priced action cams. But what if you want something with a little bit more quality but at a reasonable price again? Well, today hopefully I've got exactly that for you. In this box we have the Akaso V50 Pro. So let's get this out then and have a look at it. As I said, Akaso is a slightly better build quality. It's a well-known brand, unlike some of the others who seem to be quite generic. Akaso are a named brand, as it were. They're not here today and gone tomorrow, and you can tell that by the actual packaging. And while I do this, full disclosure, Akaso actually approached me with this. They saw some of my videos and thought they'd get in touch and ask if I wanted to take a look at their camera, and I said yes please, we'll have a look. It's nice to try something that's not completely bottom rail budget, and this is just not coming out. Akaso, you've beaten me. Right then, what we're going to do is we're going to go in through the bottom. No jokes there please. Alright, so let's try it that way then. Now in the bottom. Aha, there we go. So at last we've got the actual camera itself, and they have really gone out of their way to pack this really well. I can't even figure out what they've done here. So they've put a mount on it with a rubber band, and let's see if I can get this out. Akaso, what are you doing to me? Right, at last we've got the camera off. I'll just take it out of its protective case a moment, so you can see the camera fully itself, and even that is tightly in there. There we go. So there's the camera. There's the protective case for underwater work, and what else have we got? That actually would make a nice little stand in place of a small tripod. Extremely stable, so you could use that with that as well. So I'll keep that. Now in the box, what's in the box? Insert the meme here, I suppose, from the famous film. We got a spare backplate as always. We've got some mounts. We've got a wrist strap. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Again, this is the quality coming out over the others that you may have seen, with just a little button plastic thing that you can fall apart in 2 minutes. This has actually got a watch strap on it. Look at that. And that is really nice. And it's got photograph on, off, and video. So that's really good as well. I like that. That is really nice. Well done, Akaso. What else is in the box then? We got more mounts, all different shapes and sizes. A little spanner. We'll have to come to that later when I find out what it's for. Okay, we got a USB lead. More mounts. Yet more mounts. We've got a cradle. And that's a nice cradle as well. It doesn't just slip in, it actually pinches it together to hold it tight in place. Nice. Got battery charger. I'll take it out. There's a dual battery charger. And then we got one battery. Bicycle mount. Zip ties. The cloth for lens cleaning. The usual lanyard and double-sided sticky. Nearly there. Some straps. Oh, there's more in here. Some gel. The other battery. More gel. And quick reference guide. And a little bit of advertising. How to claim. Oh, look at that. You got to send off the code, I suppose. There you go. Right then. And then a quick reference guide, and as always, off to the drawer of obscurity with that. So let's have a look at the camera itself then. And as always, very nice. And it's a touchscreen back. Little getting started guide on the back there. First of all, peel off this. Make sure the battery is full and format your SD card. Which reminds me, I'll have to grab my SD card. So let's get that out the way. Now a little bit of information about the camera itself then. It's got wireless, of course. It's adjustable view lens, so the angle is adjustable, so you don't have to have it full wide all the time. You can narrow it down. You got the remote control, 2-inch touchscreen on the back. You have micro SD card. I think it's up to 128GB, but we'll find that out a little bit later. All the mounts and accessories, input and output, USB and so on. It takes native 4K, so it's 4K 30 FPS or 2.7K at 30 FPS, 1080 at 60 and so on. Photos in 20, 16, 14 and 10 and 8 megapixels. Megapixels, yes, there you go. 1100 milliamp hour battery is 2 of them. Waterproof up to 98 foot with the case cover on, that's that one. And as I said, multi-language, as most of them are. So let's get the battery in it and we'll have a little look at the menu system. I'll clear all this lot away while we do. Okay, I've tidied away a little bit now. One thing I did discover is what this little tool is for. I didn't realise. It's a spanner to allow you to tighten up the grub screws, which is really handy. The amount of times you hurt your fingers trying to tighten these things up so they don't wobble about or anything, that really helps. So that's what that little spanner was for. Okay then, with that out the way, let's get on with looking at the actual camera itself. So first thing we need to do is to put the battery in, and the battery's door has got a hinge on it, which is always nice because usually with the cheaper ones they just fall off and you end up losing them. In with the battery, locked shut on the bottom. You can there, you got a microphone, and you've got the grub screw for the whatever you're going to put onto a gimbal or tripod and whatever. This side you have a speaker, on off button, menu button, a little Wi-Fi symbol there, another microphone, nice wide slots for the microphone so it lets lots of sound in, micro HDMI, micro SD there, and micro USB, lots of micros. So the next thing then is to put a micro SD card in there. I always use 64GB. This is a 4K camera, and U3, not U.3, U3 for the speed, because you need that extra speed for the camera. Logo always faces out to the front, and in it goes. So the next thing then is to see if it'll turn on. Any power in the battery. Okay then, so it's turned on. Let's have a look through the menu on it. Okay then, so let's have a look at the menu. Hopefully this is in focus. The camera has been playing up and really doing my head in at the moment. If you saw my last video, you'll see it wouldn't focus properly. Hopefully it's in focus this time. Anyway, back to the menus. You've got the little touch screen menu there, which gives you beep. Let's just turn that off. Microphone on off by just touching it. Speaker on off. Nope. There. Then you've got your RF, your Wi-Fi, and so on. Just touch that again to go back down. And then you've got your settings. So we go into the general settings first. Control. So you got your microphone, speaker, and brightness for the screen. Sounds, shutter sounds, boot up sounds, beep, distortion, well, it's collaboration it says here, but it's actually correction. So when you've got it in wide mode, it helps to straighten it out a little. You don't get that so much of that fisheye effect. Now then, if you go back, we have effects, AE meter, center, average and spot. So that's where it focuses, which is what my camera is not doing properly at the moment. Well, hopefully it is. Filters, none, black and white, sepia, natural, vivid and negative, warm, cold, red, green and blue. And then the white balance. I will go back because I didn't actually check if there's a third menu on any of these. Nope, only the two. Okay. Then we got your photo mode, resolution, time-lapse interval, photo burst, delay timer, date stamp, scene mode, picture quality, long exposure for night shots, resolution. I haven't seen long exposure on one of these before. You could probably take some pretty cool shots with it of traffic and things like that, where you get the blurred lines of the lights of the traffic. Resolution, time-lapse interval. There we go. We go back again, and then the video. So video resolution 4K 30, 2.7, 1080p 60, 1080p 30, 720, 120 for slow motion shots, 720 60, and back up to 4K 30. I'll leave it in 4K 30 at the moment. In fact, no, what I will do is I'll put in 1080 60, because that's what I produce my videos in, and it really is no point in taking 4K shots for videos on YouTube anyway. They take too long to upload and edit and things like that. So I always do it to 1080p, but for home movies and stuff like that, stuff you're going to play directly on your computer, the 4K mode is perfect, and in fact it's much better. You can choose your codec. 265 is the newer one and is the better one, in my opinion anyway. And image stabilization on off, we'll chuck that on, make sure I did, yes. And there we go, that's all set up. Right, video resolution 4K 30. So can we have, yes, we've got stabilization in 4K. That's brilliant. That is really, really good. I've got to say as well, this touchscreen is really responsive. I'm hardly touching it and it's going into the various menus. Well, the next thing then, now it's all set up, is to have a little look to see what type of videos it produces. What I will do is I'll make a 4K video as well and upload it separately to this main review. And we'll have a look at that as well. I'll put a link to it in the description as usual, and you can see what the 4K is like as well.